Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. Now, I should start by saying I do have a little bit of brain fog today and a little bit of a cold, so forgive me if this reading has a few gaps and a few sniffles. But today I wanted to take a look at your shadow work, checking into your shadow work. So I have gone ahead and pre-shuffled our cards for today. And for group one, we have this beautiful sodalite crystal. For pile two, we have a garnet stone. And for pile number three, we have a little citrine. So today we'll take a look at where you are on your shadow work journey and some advice for you moving forward. I'll give you a second to take a look at these three piles and pick whichever one calls to you. Timestamps are in the description. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if this reading resonates and if you enjoy it. And I'll see you at your reading. Pile number one, hello, welcome to your reading. So if you picked this beautiful sodalite crystal, then this is your reading about checking in with where you are on your shadow work journey. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled our cards as always. Our tarot cards here, this is my shadow work deck for me personally. It's just the Rider-Waite tarot deck, but I find that it gives me the best answers when it comes to shadow work. So we're going to be using this, and this will give us your check-in with 3 cards and 3 clarifiers, and then we'll take a look at some advice. So to begin with, we have strength. Ooh, interesting. Lots of Leo energy. But more specifically, I kind of get the feeling that your shadow work that you're going through at the moment might have to do with this need to be the strong one in any given situation. I think you have issues with vulnerability, and I think that might lead you to make some um very practical choices that may not exactly be what you really want or what might be for your highest good. But it's almost like you don't let yourself indulge in vulnerability as if it were a vice of some kind. I think I think your shadow work has a lot to do with healing this almost like obsession with trying to be the brave one who is not afraid of anything or anyone. It's like you pride yourself on your ability to deal with any kind of situation, but your current shadow work assignment might have to do with accepting that sometimes we can't be brave all the time. We can't be strong all the time. And it's okay to have vulnerabilities. It's okay to have chinks in the armor. That's natural and that's necessary because that's how we let our soul shine through. To clarify strength, we have the 8 of Wands. Ooh, okay. Okay, so this is a little spicy. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think that this shadow work assignment, whatever this is, it may have come upon you very suddenly. Let me just focus. There we go. It may have come upon you very, very suddenly. And I think you may have been blindsided by just how quickly everything would have fallen apart. Of course, nothing truly falls apart. It just falls into place for us to heal and grow and, that kind of thing. But the point is, we have 2 fire cards. This might have happened over, and 2 8s as well. Ooh, okay. This may have happened over like the last 8 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. The last 8 weeks, I would say, things seem to have fallen apart, and you have no idea why. And you are trying so hard to be the strong one here, but it's simply not possible. And that's because you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to learn the lesson of humility, I'm hearing, of being graceful towards yourself, giving yourself the grace and kindness and softness and gentleness that you give other people when they're struggling. It's like you want to allow yourself this. And I think this shadow work period that you're going through is for you to work with this tendency and to work through it and get past it and allow yourself the kindness of being weak, of being vulnerable, of being held by the people that love you and care about you. Alternately, you may not have anyone in your life that can do that for you, and this might be a time where you find them. In either case, your shadow work at the moment is calling you desperately to try and work through the facade of infallible strength, if you can call it that. Next, we have the Hierophant. This, can we focus? Apparently not. Okay. So this persona that you may have of, being the strong one and being perfect in every way, this may be something that has been thrust upon you by social conventions, and it may be something that you have to actively unlearn. Maybe there's gender roles involved. Maybe there is family dynamics involved. In either case, I feel like the rule book says you have to be the strong one. And your ascension that you are currently going through is pushing you to reconsider if the rules are even any good. Because is it worth all the sleepless nights? And this is major arcanas, 2 major arcanas. This is some heavy stuff. This might be wounds that you carry from a very young age. You might have had that responsibility thrust on you from a very young age. You may have been, the peacekeeper or the person that everyone went to with troubles, but then when you had troubles, no one was there for you from a very, very young age. And those are, in my opinion and in my experience, the hardest ones to work through. Those wounds have shaped everything about you. But the good news is, if you're working through something so big, it means all the other little stuff has already been worked through. So, there's that silver lining. So to clarify the Hierophant, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Do you know what's interesting? This is fire and fire, this is earth and earth. But the 4 of Pentacles talks about holding on to things for a fear of losing them forever. And I do think that having gone through so many ascensions already, like I said, you've already worked through so many little things. Having gone through them, you might be a little worried about losing yourself and losing your core. You might even have changed as a person and then people taunt you about it. And that might have created a fear in you of, am I losing myself? But the thing is, yourself, your true self, is not something you can ever lose. It is just something that you discover more and more of as time goes by. What you've lost or released, as I like to call it, is the facade that people projected on you so that you were more palatable for them. Does that make sense? So that you were easier for people to digest. That's what you've shared, and the people who used to benefit from it are no longer doing so. And so, of course, it's going to bother them that you are growing as a person. But I want you to understand that these rules were not there for you, no matter how much people may have tried to convince you of it. These rules were not made to protect you in any way. They were made to make you useful to other people. Okay? And the fact that you are letting it go, letting all of it go, is the first thing in your life that you have done for yourself. Okay, so obviously this is a general reading. Take this as it resonates. This is just the energy I'm kind of picking up on. I'm not trying to shade your friends and family unless they deserve it. But but the point is that whatever this fear is, whatever you fear losing from doing all this healing, trust me, it is what you should have let go of a long time. Well, it's something that you should not even have had to hold on to, is the point. Next, we have the 5 of Cups. Are you processing a lot of loss right now? Oh, again, another 5. There's a lot of synchronicities here. You might be seeing a lot of repeating numbers, lots of warm colors as well. You might see a lot of like yellow, beige, peach, orange, that kind of thing. But with the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Cups talks about a loss, but you're not able to see the 2 cups that are still standing for you. So it's like a partial loss, but you're not focusing on what's left, on the silver lining. And I do think that you might be hyper focused on all this stuff, on what people might be saying. You might be hyper focused on losing the relationships you've had so far, the relationships that benefited from you always being the strong one, you always being the smart one and the wise one and the one people could rely on. And now that you are shedding that role bit by bit, people are starting to notice. Well, that's a good thing, because it means you've been doing this for long enough that people are actually starting to see the results of it. But also, it does mean you might have to let go of some people who were just really not helping you in any way. And I'm not saying that all relationships should be transactional and every single person in your life should be there, to do things for you. But relationships should be reciprocal. And I feel like you weren't receiving nearly as much as you were giving to these people. And so if they are being taken away from you outside, like if they're being taken out of your life, it's because they are just not a vibrational match for you anymore. And I think your higher self has finally had enough and is ready for some more meaningful connections to enter your life. And to clarify, we have the 7 of Swords. Okay, so the 7 of Swords, sneaky energy. Okay, so couple interpretations I'm hearing right now. First, this shadow work might have snuck up on you. You may suddenly have, just out of nowhere, just suddenly been hit with a whole bunch of issues and losses and people leaving and just loneliness, isolation, things going wrong in every sense. And this 7 of Swords here is telling me that it was important for this to come to the surface. But the other interpretation for the 7 of Swords is that these people for so long that have been benefiting from your energy have been like actively depleting you, have been draining. Sorry about that, guys. My phone just kind of stopped recording randomly. But the point I was trying to make was that these people have been draining you for so long. And now that you are stepping into a space away from them, you're able to see with a lot more clarity just how much of your energy was diverted towards these people who don't even really deserve it. And now that you're able to see it, you are free. Huh. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some advice that the universe has for you right now. So, to start with, we have jump in. Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. What did I say? Look, your circle is going to change. That's just a given, because your old circle was not so much a circle as it was a sinkhole for your energy. And the time has come for you to kind of upgrade, to expect more from your connections, from your friendships, from your family. And instead of thinking of it as a loss, it is time to think of it as an adventure. So you might have Andromedan starseed past, like you may have had lives in Andromeda. That could be something worth exploring if that's something you're into. And we have double mission, light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. Yeah, I just said starseed, right? You may have had a lifetime in Andromeda, and maybe that's what's giving you this tendency to want to take care of people, to want to be the strong one, to be brave, that kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure about the different starseed origins, and I think Lexi the Leo has some amazing videos explaining every starseed type that we know of, so that would be worth checking it out. But I think you might be a soul that comes from a starseed origin, which is from a different galaxy, a different dimension, and as such, you've come to this planet in this lifetime with a light worker mission. But the thing to understand is, if you were to continue taking care of people and being the strong one, if that was all you were supposed to do, you would have stayed in those dimensions, right? We come to this planet with these human existences in order to experience, in order to just be, in order to understand duality, the yes and the no, the black and the white, the dark and the light, that kind of thing. And in order to understand that, we have to understand ourselves. Does that make sense? And when we try to apply the, I want to say logic, or the what's the word for it? The like techniques or the way of life from other dimensions into this one, a lot of us end up very, very torn apart, because there's a specific way of life that we are used to from previous lifetimes, and it does not work in this one. And I think a lot of light workers and a lot of starseeds especially go through this journey of shedding that noble mission that we bring from previous lifetimes and stepping into our mission right now, which is simply to express, to be our best selves, and in doing so uplift humanity. And I think an important part of your mission in this life is to actually unlearn some of the things you may have picked up from different lifetimes, just because they don't apply here. Oh, that's powerful. So let's take a look at your animal spirit oracle cards. We have the giraffe spirit, see the big picture. We'll read from the book because I love the messages that come with these. So this is number 29. Oh, it opens straight to that page. That's so strange. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When giraffe spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it is time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. Open your eyes to what others need or are experiencing, and see the big picture that you fit into. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. And your final card, oh, so beautiful, is the flamingo spirit. Embrace the in-between. I do strongly believe that you are in the in-between right now. And that's probably a massive source of why you feel all discombobulated. But let's see. 26. Balance comes easily to flamingo spirit, who sees what was and what will be and stands strong in the face of uncertainty. Do not resist flamingo spirit's call to be fully present in the now, where the real magic happens. With one foot in the life you're moving away from and one foot in the future, you must make peace with the fact that you are not fully in either place. Embrace the in-between. You can trust this moment and yourself as you take in what you see and become aware of all that you are experiencing in this in-between time. So that was your shadow work check-in reading, pile number 1. I really hope this resonated and it brought you a bit of comfort and some answers that you might have been looking for. If this resonated, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps the channel out a lot. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me and letting me read for you today. I really hope it helped. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Pile number 2, welcome to your reading about checking in with your shadow work. Where are you in your process and what advice is there for you going forward? So if you picked this beautiful garnet, then this is the reading for you. I'm straight away hearing root chakra work with this stone specifically. You might have had issues grounding into the present moment, that kind of thing, and that may be your next assignment. But let's have a look. We have justice. There's something in your life that has felt unfair for the longest time. Maybe this is an unbalanced relationship. It could be like a parental wound or something. And it may very well have been a very unfair relationship. And that may be the healing that you need to work on right now in your journey. It's the feeling of imbalance. It feels like something was so painfully skewed against you right from the very beginning. And you may now be coming to the realization that actually this was not right. This should not have happened to you. However, there is no closure to be had here. This person may no longer be in your life that made things unfair for you, or it might be something so big that you can't attribute to just one person, and the point is your healing is not something that you should hand over to someone else to do or to make happen. And I think that's your big lesson right now is, yes, there was injustice, but you need to understand that justice is not something someone else can give you, at least in this context. It is something that you must give yourself. You must do better for yourself than they did for you. Does that make sense? To clarify justice, we have the Three of Swords. Yeah. Someone somewhere broke your heart. Now, this could be like a romantic relationship, but this to me feels a lot more, a lot earlier. A lot earlier in your life. You may have, like I said, you may have had toxic family. You may have had a parental figure that really did not treat you the way you deserve to be treated, especially as a very young child. And this has caused you a lot of heartbreak. But I can really see this wound coming up for you right now. You might feel like an actual pain in your chest and like your heart space. And that's because it just goes so deep. But with justice here, I feel like the only reason you're not able to work through this quite yet, or you haven't been able to work through this yet, is because there's been no closure. And I think you might be someone who needs closure, which, hey, full sympathies, I'm someone who needs closure. It's fine. But the point is, you're not going to get the answers from this person or these people or this institution, whatever. It's not coming. So how can we move forward knowing this? That's where your shadow work is currently at. How can we move forward assuming that there will be no apology, there will be no understanding or empathy or anything from the people that hurt us? How can we move forward? How can we heal without them knowing how they hurt us? I think that's your next big shadow work assignment. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is slow and steady work, but it is most certainly progress. Okay, you might think when this wound comes up over and over and over, you might think, I should have healed this by now. I should have. But understand that you putting timelines on yourself is conditioning from these people who did hurt you. You feeling inadequate about how your healing journey goes. That's not an innate desire, or it's not an innate thought. It's something that was fed you by this institution that did you so much injustice. When we heal, when we move forward, it is not going to happen overnight. It's not, because these wounds didn't happen overnight. They happened gradually over time. And so when it comes to your healing process, I want you to be patient and understand that for something to be long lasting, it's going to have to put down some solid roots. And that is what you are. That's what you're doing. You are putting down solid roots. You're anchoring into your healing journey. And that is going to take time. So I need you to understand that your pace is not too slow. Your pace is absolutely perfect. Some days you're going to feel a lot better. Other days you are not. Some days you're going to feel invincible. Other days you're going to feel triggered. That's perfectly fine. In fact, that is healthy and natural, because it means you are going at a pace that is best suited for you. You're not rushing it. Okay, let's look at the clarifier. Okay, to clarify the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Five of Wands in reverse. You're avoiding conflict. Okay. So, what's happening here is the reason you are taking it slow is because there's a lot of inner conflict, and instead of dealing with all of it all at once, your higher self or your subconscious mind is unraveling it like one stitch at a time instead of just ripping it all apart. Does that make sense? So I think this grief almost that you carry, it's so complex that if you were to face it all at once, all together, then it might not, the healing might not serve its purpose quite as well. And so over time, little things are cropping up one after another for you to heal them a lot slower, but a lot gentler and a lot more thoroughly. I also think a lot of this, you might just be conflict avoidant by nature. And because of that, it's like your higher self is almost choosing to take it slow, just so you don't have to face these people in combat, essentially. Yeah, I think you might be getting a little impatient, but that's okay. It's just about understanding that if you want long-lasting change in yourself, you have to give it long to change. Okay? Next we have the Three of Wands. Oh, there is a lot to look forward to for you. Pile number 2. There is distant shores that look completely different from where you are today. I think you might have a lot of change coming your way, big time. But the way it comes in is not like, your life changes overnight. At first, you have the notion of it, the indication, the dream, the signs, all of that. And you then start to work towards it. It's like when, say now you have a business idea. Some people, they start doing it straight away and then boom, they become a success overnight. Other people have a vision and then gradually build up to it. And I think you might be someone who in the past has been the first kind where, things just happen overnight. Change is just so rapid. But the issue with that is things that go viral go into obscurity, whereas things that have built up over time stay relevant for much longer. So in context of your healing process and just moving on with your life, it's important to understand that when you are first given the dream, you are given the opportunity to grow into the person who has that. If it's thrust upon you, you won't know what to do with it, and then you will lose it. So when you get that spark of an idea, this image of what your future could be like once you're done healing and moving forward, understand that it's not there to just tantalize you and torture you in that way. It's not just there to show you what you could have had if you just healed sooner. Not at all. It is there for you to grow into. That's powerful. Okay, to clarify the Three of Wands, we have the Page of Cups. Aww. So the Page of Cups, to me personally, always talks about destiny. Talks about people who are destined to be together, emotional healing that is destined to happen. Both these cards together for me definitely show me that you are meant to heal. It is part of your soul's growth in this lifetime is to do this healing work and to get really good at it. Oh, this camera won't focus today. Are we focused? There we go. Okay. It is part of your soul's journey in this lifetime to do this healing, to work through it, and to have a life outside of this. But it's not going to happen overnight, because then it would fizzle immediately. You are not meant to just transform your life completely one day. It's going to take time just so that you can grow along with your dream. Does that make sense? I feel like it does make sense to you. I feel like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The point is to give yourself the time and space that you need, okay? Because this is not a trivial pursuit. This is your entire personality, your entire self that was shunned for so long and is now finally able to breathe. And it's going to have to learn to navigate its way in the world. And you just have to give it time. So let's take a look at some advice for you working through this shadow work. So our first oracle card is water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. Yeah. It's time to kind of take a break, honestly. I think this work that you're doing is so heavy and so powerful that it requires you to really just spend some time doing absolutely nothing, just allowing your body to process everything that it's going through. And I know that's easier said than done because we have things we need to do. But with your downtime, with just whatever time you can dedicate to yourself, take it to do absolutely nothing. Because in refusing to let yourself rest, in refusing to give yourself the gentle kindness that you deserve, you are essentially repeating the cycles that these people did to you. And that's, normal. It's natural. There's only one way, of treating yourself. And that comes from how you were taught. And that's okay. It is time to rewrite it is all. And so if not, for yourself or for the universe, just for my sake, okay? I want you to take the time out and allow yourself to rest and recover from all of this. And we have weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It is not yours to carry. I think you may have incarnated into this family dynamic in order to break this cycle. And in order to break the cycle, we need to first go through the cycle, right? And as a result, we can tend to kind of take on the guilt of how these people treat everyone else as well as us, and over time, it kind of starts to feel like our job to apologize for them. And it's not, obviously it's not, but feelings are rarely logical, feelings are rarely sensible. And it's okay if you feel guilt Let it come up, let it process, let it wash over you, and let it wash away. Okay? But the point is, this is not yours to carry. Both of these cards have someone immersed in water. Maybe you'll find healing from being in water, being submerged in some way. Maybe a bath, maybe a swim, maybe just some time in the sea, the ocean, the lake, whatever. I think water might be quite healing for you. Interesting. So our final two cards, we have the Dragonfly Spirit in reverse. Truth transcends illusion. So I like to read these from the book, if the book will cooperate. So the Dragonfly Spirit protection message. Did you really think the world of senses is all there is? From the hidden mystical realms, signs are being sent to you, but perhaps you have perceived separation and convinced yourself that you are on your own. Have you fallen into spiritual amnesia and forgotten your connection to a living, loving, always supportive universe? There is an organizing principle underlying the events you have experienced, and Dragonfly Spirit can help you see it and trust that Spirit has your back. Love is here, so follow the signs that appear serendipitously. As you pay attention to the magic all around you, you will know that you are on the right track. And the final card is the Cow Spirit in reverse. The miracles are endless. So, this is number 15. The dragonfly was number 22, in case those numbers mean anything to you. Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless, protection message. Cow Spirit asks you to pay attention to how you nourish your mind, body, and spirit, because right now you are wobbling around like a newborn calf on its unsteady legs. Whatever it is, you're being nudged to assess how you are looking after your needs. Remember, the universe has a way of reflecting back to you events and conditions that match how you treat yourself. Cow Spirit reminds you that the universe wants to give you the very best, but needs you to do your part to participate and nourish your well-being. Well, there you go. That's said more than I will ever need to. Well, number 2. So that's your reading for a shadow work check-in. I really hope this resonated and brought you some support and clarity and advice that you needed right now. If this resonated, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending some time and energy with me and for letting me read for you today. I really hope this helped. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Pile number 3. Hello, welcome to your reading about checking in with your shadow work. So if you picked this beautiful citrine crystal, then this is your reading. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled our cards. These tarot cards will tell us about where you are on your shadow work journey, what you're working through, all of that. We have 3 cards and 3 clarifiers, and then we have 4 oracle cards that will give us a bit of advice moving forward. So let's just go ahead and get started. We have the 7 of Pentacles. You have invested a lot into this, a lot into your healing journey. You may be getting really, really like top-notch therapy. You may be getting the highest, most premium spiritual advice, that kind of thing. And it almost feels like that there might be a bit of a wall that you've hit. It's like you've invested all this and nothing is coming of it. Well, not nothing is coming of it. You've done your healing, but it's kind of hit an upper limit. And I think you might be getting a little antsy about, where is the next milestone? When do I get my next aha moment? Interesting. I'm not really getting a read on what this is about, like what your next aha moment is about, but I am getting that you're feeling a little frustrated. Maybe you feel like you're not getting returns for what you've invested into your healing journey. Hmm. Okay, let's look at the clarifier. To clarify, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of impatience coming here. I feel like you are trying to. Okay. I get it. Okay, sorry. Okay. So I feel like the issue here is that you're trying to kind of intellectualize your healing, to kind of compartmentalize it, to give it like a specific set of levels. Like, oh, okay, in this amount of therapy, by say about 3 months time, I should have healed this and this, and then by 6 months time, I should have healed these other things. And it's like your brain is just simply refusing to grasp the idea that healing is not linear. It never has been, and it never will be. Things will go in circles, things will go in loops, and back and forth, all kinds of different shapes. Healing is never a straight line. And you might be someone who's extremely like practical, extremely logic minded, and it's just simply not computing for you that investing X amount into my healing doesn't guarantee X amount of results. And ironically, a big part of your healing is understanding that there needs to always be room for abstraction, for the unquantifiable. I think you might be working on healing your divine feminine yin energy, which is that dark, shapeless, formless aspect of your healing. The part of you that lives in the void, that lives in the unknown. And yeah, healing that is a huge part of your journey, I think. Because when when you are doing your shadow work, I mean, obviously it's in the name, shadow work, but when you're doing your shadow work, a lot of us do it with the expectation that it will completely change our lives the second we start doing it, or if we do enough of it, we won't have issues ever again. And that's not how any of it works. I'm so sorry. Yes, it changes your life entirely in that you start to really explore who you are outside of the bounds of society. However, it also means that once you start down this path, it is all going to come out. You have a lifetime's worth of shadow deep inside you. It needs to all come out. And so you can't just apply a logical kind of timeline to it of like, okay, I will invest, say, a year into it and a year's healing is good enough for me. That's not how it works at all. It will keep coming up. Little aspects of your shadow will keep coming back over and over again until you have not only healed it, but also you've integrated the lesson. Okay, next we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I think, oh, two sevens. I think you're feeling very, very disillusioned right now about number three, because you feel like you've done so much work and you're not seeing any results. But the thing is, you're gonna feel you're gonna feel the results before you see them. That's just how it is. It's not something like taking a course. It's not like taking an online course where you have specific course objectives and this is all we will cover and nothing beyond these basic concepts. That's not how shadow work works. Shadow work is about digging deep, not knowing what you will find, and whatever you find has to come out, whether it's convenient or not. And yeah, I'm making it sound like it has no benefits, but I promise you, Pile 3, doing this healing is the objective of all of our lives. But it is just not going to conform to your timeline. And that might seem a little disillusioning, but it's important to remember that your timeline is conceived by the same brain that was wounded. You don't know your healed mind yet. So if you are still functioning from a wounded space, then this timeline has no meaning, because that is not a goal. That state of mind is not your goal anymore. Your goals are bigger and better. And so whatever this sense of unfulfillment is does not even belong to you. It belongs to the person that you're trying to not be anymore. Does that make sense? To clarify, we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. So usually I read the 9 of Swords in reverse as, you don't have any anxiety anymore. But in this context, it kind of feels like you do have the anxiety. You're just refusing to let yourself feel it for some reason. It's okay. So, sorry, my chair is going to make a noise right now. Okay. So it feels like there is an anxiety that comes from, spending so much time working towards a goal and then not seeing any results. But it's almost like you want to save face with yourself, really, because you've been so confident about, this healing is going to change my life forever. But it hasn't happened. And so I've been talking in context of this being about your healing journey. It could very well be about like a business or a skill or, anything. Just apply this how it resonates. But whatever this is that you've invested in that hasn't shown results yet, it's understandable for you to be anxious. It's understandable for you to want to see results. And you refusing to let yourself feel this anxiety is compounding it. It's making it even worse. Allow yourself to feel it, Pile 3. It's okay. You're a person. You are allowed the grace to feel your feelings and to work through them. Even if it feels like, there's no time, there's no space, no one will hold me through it. Fine, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Time, space, people, it comes and goes. It's fine. But your healing is your responsibility. Whether or not people support you through it, it's still your job to work through the issues that you are facing. And just, brushing them under the rug is not the answer, because it will just come back way worse at a much worse time. It's like having a controlled demolition versus having a building just fall down while people are living in it, Okay, next we have the Star in reverse. Yeah, it's big time disillusionment energy. Sorry, my camera is just refusing to focus today. I think you're kind of losing hope a little. You're losing faith a little. Although I do also kind of feel that might be part of the process for you. That might be an important step, actually. So, if you've come to this reading hoping to feel invigorated and hoping to find your purpose again, then I'm so sorry. No, I'm joking. It is important for you to find your purpose again, absolutely. But it is also important to acknowledge that sometimes we're just not going to feel 100%. We're just not. And that's okay. We are still people. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to say silly things. We're going to expect awful things. I mean, we're going to expect an awful lot from other people, from ourselves. That's okay. It's all part of being a person. And if you're not feeling optimistic today, that's fine. If you haven't felt optimistic for a week, a month, a year, that's fine. It's just your mind telling you that where you are right now is not where you want to be. And that's usually a catalyst for change. And change is what we need in order to heal. Well, change is usually the consequence of healing, but also it is the catalyst that pushes us into healing sometimes. But anyway, the point is your feelings are valid and you need to allow them to breathe because they exist for you to learn new things about yourself. Feelings are an indicator, they are not a curse, okay? To clarify the star, we have the Three of Pentacles. Oh, now you focus? Okay, thanks. So the Three of Pentacles, collaboration. You are not meant to do this alone. Which could be why, if this is about your healing, which could be why you may have invested in working with experts. And that's good, because if you were to do this alone, you would have given up on day one. I feel like these people keep you accountable. And if this is about a business, you could be, working in a joint venture, something like that. But these people keep you accountable, and that's good. That's important. Okay, so don't feel like anything is ever wasted, because it's not. You are meant to work with other people. And if you are not yet working with other people, if you don't yet have a coach or a business partner or like friends who will work through these things with you, get some people to see you through. Because I think this lack of motivation, this disillusionment might push you to even think about quitting and going back to the way things were. And that is not okay. That's the one thing that's not okay. You are not allowed to quit. Okay? You need to keep pushing. So surround yourself with people that have the same end goal as you, the same end goal for you as you do. Okay? Because that, I think, is going to be crucial to your healing journey. Let's go ahead and look at some advice for you. So for our advice today, we have, you've got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. I might read from the book for this. Hang on one second. Just because I'm trying to, whoa, that was loud. I'm trying to understand the context, how this works in context. The Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love who see love in all people and situations. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. To learn self-love first and then establish healthy relationships with others, to remember that the love they seek is already within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways in which you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you're in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you give more than you receive, or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it and you're always unsure where you stand. Starseed Soul Inquiry. Do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? How can you develop a deeper love for yourself? Maybe this is about a relationship or a past relationship that you feel like you invested a lot into and you didn't really get anything out of. And maybe you're kind of trying to carry that into a new relationship and wondering why it won't go fast enough. But it's important to remember that you come first for you. And the more you invest in yourself, the less you are investing in places that don't deserve your investment. Does that make sense? Next, we have Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. You might find a lot of healing outside if you're someone who stays indoors a lot, which, hello, me too. But you may find there's a lot of healing to be had out in nature. It might bring you a sense of comfort and just contentment that will make you not want to rush as much as you are wanting to rush. Because there's a lot we can learn from, the earth, the plants, animals, the solar system, the galaxy, everything outside of us, outside of human creation, really. Everything has its reason and it has its season. Everything works according to divine timing, according to the most, what's the word for it? The most appropriate time. It's, if you were to rush your healing right now, you would not be getting the most out of it, is the point I'm trying to make. And so spending time in nature might change your perspective a little bit. And finally, we have our animal spirit guide cards. Elephant spirit, learn from the past. Yeah, I do think this kind of impatience is something that may have kind of encroached upon your mind from your past relationships or your past businesses or your past healing journeys or whatever it is. The advice here is to keep the lesson but release the pain. Learn from the past but don't hold on to it. And finally, we have the starfish spirit in reverse, open to infinite possibility. Okay, this one I definitely want to read from the book. 59, if that number means anything to you. Here we go. Starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. When cynicism says no, starfish spirit says yes 1,000 times over. Are you willing to entertain new possibilities? Are you limiting your goals in order to be realistic and cutting yourself off from the power of dreaming big? Let go of your rigid beliefs of what is possible for you and let starfish spirit inspire you to open your heart and your eyes as to what spirit has available to you. Now is a time to stretch beyond the familiar and unfurl yourself, for you are meant for more than you are imagining for yourself. Spirit wants the best for you and will support you in achieving whatever intention you hold dear. So that is your message for your shadow work check-in, pile number 3. I really hope this helped. I really hope this resonated and brought you some clarity and support that you've been looking for. If this did resonate, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. But apart from that, I thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me today and for letting me read for you. I really hope this helped. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!